Let me first ask, what does the general public think? I mean, leaving aside the political parties, how much does the average Spaniard think Spain should remain one country, and how many Spaniards think that each individual region should break off, especially if they're rich enough to finance themselves?
Well, I think very few. Even in Catalonia itself, the majority of people there in Catalonia, they don't want really to have independence. So, and in the rest of Spain, I would imagine 80, 90, 95% of people really, don't really want to have a split up of the country, breaking up of the country, for sure.
It seems that the Vox party, Miguel, has managed to benefit then from this fear, from any fears around Catalonian independence. How is the Dutchification, as you call it, or the fragmentation of Spanish politics set to develop, do you think, from here?
Well, I mean, we are experiencing a Dutchification of Spanish politics. I mean, we have now multiple parties. I think in an era of Netflix and Amazon and tailored customers, we have that as well in politics. And in Spain, we have more parties. And this is a new situation, especially at the national level. We had coalitions in the regions, but not at the national level, and perhaps for the first time we will have a coalition. Now I think this is a new era for Spain, because normally the Spanish politics was, like in Britain, more confrontational, and now it's down to the political parties to really come to agreements, negotiations, agreements, and then coalitions. And that would be then a new era in Spanish politics at the national level.
What do you expect is more likely, Miguel? Are we going to see the socialists and communists get together here and rule Spain, or do we see the traditional, more libertarian and more populist parties get together?
Very difficult to say, very difficult. I mean, the polls show that it's going to be very tight and that we might not have sufficient numbers of both sides. And so we might have a rerun of the 2015-2016 period, where there was no capacity to cross this ideological trenches. And so that might be very possible. And we have as well a party in Vox, far-right party, ultra-right party, that has not been polled sufficiently, that people don't really know how much support they will get. On the other hand, it is unclear as well whether Vox gets some of the traditional support from the working classes. So far, the evidence suggests they don't get that support. So if they don't get that support, that means that the two blocs, right and left, will continue as they are, and so it will be very difficult for any of them to really have this majority, and therefore we might have a situation where the socialists with Ciudadanos, so the socialists with the liberals, will have to maybe cross those ideological trenches. Difficult, but not impossible.
So Miguel, so we might be back doing a lot more frequent elections in Spain. The last parliament didn't last very long. How should we think of Vox, do you think, from an international perspective? Do we compare it with the National Front in France, with the AfD in Germany? Do other politicians in Spain view it that way?
Well, I mean, I think Vox is similar more to kind of Fidesz and Orban, and it's my sense is that it is more of a kind of traditionalist, conservative party that we have seen this in many other countries. This is in a way a postmodern backlash. This is a party that is a bit kind of, fed up of the progressive dominance that we had in politics for so long, and they think, that the progressive camp has just dominated, has been hegemonic, and they want to take away from gay rights, from the equality between women and men, from multiculturalism, and all of these things. So this kind of this camp there. But it's not kind of, the anti-immigration campaign is not so strong as you would see, for example, in the National Front or in Salvini.
Okay, interesting
But it's
context.
really-
Miguel, thank you
it's
very
really-
much. Sorry, Matt.
Well,
Thank you.
Well, no, I was just going to
Thanks.
say, isn't it really kind of an anti-independentist? Isn't a Bhaskar, his family was hurt by the independentists. They were Basque, right? And it's really a reaction against that. That's just my reading of it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, so there are two pillars. Obviously, the whole, anti-independentist kind of, fever that we saw in the country, and that is very strong, and that many people think that the traditional kind of conservative party, the PP party, was not tough enough on this, and so this is one source of the support. And then there's, as I said, there's also kind of support which is this postmodern backlash against the progressive consensus that dominated Spanish politics for so long.